Justin Baldoni, Man Enough, Undefining My Masculinity, by the author, actor, and director Justin Baldoni. In A Man Enough, Undefining My Masculinity, Justin Baldoni invites readers on an introspective journey that challenges traditional notions of masculinity. This book explores the pressures boys face to conform to restrictive gender norms, which often demand emotional suppression and faux bravado. Baldoni reflects on his own experiences with vulnerability, self-worth, and the interplay of these aspects with his relationships and career. Through vivid personal anecdotes and insights, Baldoni confronts the realities of fear, failure, and societal expectations around male intellect and sexuality. Readers can anticipate an enlightening examination of how embracing vulnerability can dismantle harmful stereotypes and foster a healthier self-awareness. Join Baldoni as he uncovers the strength in authenticity and encourages a shift in perspective on what it really means to be a man enough.
Strength in vulnerability. Have you ever felt compelled to take a leap into the unknown, driven not by a desire for adventure, but by the fear of being deemed cowardly? This pressure is often felt by young boys, who are nudged to suppress their emotions to prove their manhood. The author remembers a time from his youth when, frightened but determined to evade ridicule, he jumped off a bridge into a wild river, not a testament to his bravery, but a reflection of societal pressures to conform to masculine stereotypes that equate emotion with weakness. Raised by affectionate parents who embraced his sensitivity, the author seemed to straddle two worlds. At home, he felt free to express his emotions, but in the schoolyard, norms were drastically different. There, displaying vulnerability or forming friendships with girls often led to labels like gay, considered the ultimate insult. In his struggle to align with these unspoken codes of masculinity, the author began to sever ties with his emotions. Drawing on the insights of author and scholar Bell Hooks, he illustrates how patriarchy compels men to commit acts of emotional self-harm, silencing their feelings. For the author, this suppression left him feeling isolated during bouts of bullying. Though his father was kind, he lacked the emotional toolkit necessary to assist him. In his 20s, the author's life crumbled into bankruptcy and heartbreak, forcing him to reevaluate this emotional armor. With the help of female friends who embodied genuine vulnerability, he tentatively started to rediscover his feelings. This journey uncovered a stark truth: beneath the facade of confidence lay a fear of inadequacy and failure. Confronting these anxieties became imperative. Seeking solace and understanding, he orchestrated a guy's trip, ostensibly for leisure but secretly intended to forge deeper connections and expose his hidden fears. Initially hesitant to open up, a friend's candid admission broke the ice, sparking an outpouring of genuine dialogue among the group. One by one, these men unburdened themselves, sharing hidden traumas and struggles with addiction, realizing their shared humanity. The author revealed his complex relationship with pornography, his anxiety over masculinity, and his longing for an alternative way of being. This encounter taught him that true strength is born not from cloaking our vulnerabilities but from bravely sharing them with empathetic others, enabling us to shoulder burdens that should never be borne alone. Embracing authentic intelligence. Ever questioned your worth despite your achievements? The journey the author shares is profoundly personal yet universally relatable, delving into the haunting specter of imposter syndrome informed by societal pressures on masculinity. On the first day of directing his debut film, anxiety gripped him, prompting a deep dive into past insecurities. School memories came rushing back. A young athlete, branded for his physical prowess rather than his intellect, he grappled with the rigid confines of an education system attuned to traditional learning styles. Unbeknownst to him, undiagnosed ADHD perhaps played a role in his feelings of inadequacy, embedding a narrative of inferiority that shadowed him into his professional life. Society tells men they must have all the answers, equating help-seeking with weakness and mocking intellectualism while idolizing the athlete. This paradox breeds insecurity, pushing the author to project false confidence. Yet, a high school revelation turned the tide when a perceptive teacher appreciated his unconventional talents, allowing him to explore them creatively through a video book report instead of the standard essay. This moment was life-changing, a realization that intelligence wasn't absent, just different. Reflecting on this pivotal lesson, the author redefined his approach as a director. He embraced collaboration, recognizing the strength in drawing upon others' expertise. By shedding the facade of invincibility, he found true wisdom in acknowledging his own knowledge boundaries. This approach fostered an environment where collective genius flourished and adaptive, collaborative leadership took precedence. Ultimately, the journey taught that genuine intelligence is not about having all the answers but about understanding one's limitations and valuing interdependence. The most transformative leaders are those who empower others to showcase their strengths and who aren't afraid to adjust their methods through feedback. Discovering that you don't need to solve every problem alone is liberating, offering a new perspective on personal and professional growth. Unveiling male sexuality. Society often paints men as creatures driven solely by sexual urges, but male sexuality is much more intricate, entwining threads of biology, emotion, and personal stories. The author bravely shares his journey through sexual trauma, where an early violation of consent sparked a cascade of anxiety, shame, and a fear of inadequacy. These emotions are not uncommon, many men harbor unspoken wounds from unwanted experiences. Despite the lack of frank discussions, cultural narratives rarely address these pains, leaving men isolated and struggling to decipher their sexuality through inadequate means, like pornography, a medium that distorts intimacy and inflates expectations. Growing up, the absence of comprehensive sexual education pushed the author to rely on the misleading depictions found on screens. Pornography became an easy escape and false teacher, embedding deep-rooted misconceptions in his psyche. After grappling with his partner's infidelity, he found himself using these images as a crutch against depression. The tide began to turn when true intimacy entered his life through a relationship grounded in emotional honesty. As he opened up about his struggles with inadequacy and porn, he discovered the raw power of vulnerability and genuine connection. Through this process, he redefined sex, embracing it not as an act of performance but as a deep form of bonding that welcomes the entirety of oneself, with all its imperfections. The author urges for a broader conversation, one that includes men's voices, allowing a compassionate exploration of their stories without fear of judgment. By integrating sexuality with our inherent humanity, the path to a more holistic self-worth and healthier erotic relationships becomes clear.
In conclusion, Man Enough, Undefining My Masculinity by Justin Baldoni presents a compelling call to redefine masculinity by embracing vulnerability and authenticity. The narrative serves as a reminder that true strength lies not in concealing our struggles, but in sharing them openly and courageously. Baldoni's personal journey highlights the detrimental effects of conforming to outdated gender norms, urging readers to eschew fear-driven bravado in favor of genuine emotional expression and connection. By illustrating these lessons through his experiences, Baldoni advocates for an expanded understanding of masculinity that incorporates emotional intelligence and mutual support. Ultimately, the book offers a hopeful vision for men seeking to align their self-worth with their true selves, encouraging a collective step towards more inclusive and holistic definitions of manhood.